Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome GW President Stephen Knapp. Chairman of the GW Board of Trustees, Russ Ramsey. Incoming Athletic Director, Patrick Nero. Members of the GW men's basketball team and the Colonial Army. And now please welcome your new men's basketball coach, Mike Lonergan.
Well, good afternoon. I think as you heard, I'm Steve Knapp, President of the George Washington University, and it's a delight to welcome you this afternoon on another momentous day for Colonials athletics. And I'm really delighted to announce Mike Lonergan as the next head coach of our men's basketball team. Great to have you with us, Mike. We have a number of Mike's friends and family here, and so welcome to them as well. I'm going to make just a few comments about Coach Lonergan, and then I'm going to introduce the chairman of our board, and then we'll move on pretty quickly, get through a few comments, because I know there are a lot of questions that members of the media would like to pose. So let me first stress just a few things that I think make Mike such an attractive addition to our program here at George Washington. And I'll start with the fact that he has deep connections to Washington, D.C. and the greater metropolitan area, was educated here, has worked here, really knows our community. And we are so proud of the fact that we are an integral part of this great capital city of Washington, D.C. and the great metropolitan area that surrounds it, that I think that's a very important consideration for us. He served as head coach at Catholic University, where he was also a starting point guard and team captain. He was assistant coach under Gary Williams at the University of Maryland College Park, and he's a native of Bowie, Maryland, and a graduate of Archbishop Carroll High School. So the deep connections here. He also has a proven record of helping student athletes succeed both in the classroom and on the basketball court. He has a winning record everywhere he's coached and a 100% graduation rate every place he has served as head coach. 100%. When I had an opportunity to meet Coach Lonergan and speak with him firsthand, I was really impressed by his integrity and his commitment to the student athletes he leads. Now, a trustee-led committee has been developing a strategic plan for our athletic programs, including men's basketball, but actually covering the whole breadth of our varsity sports, our club sports, intramural, and our health and wellness programs. And I'm now pleased to introduce a key member of that committee who is also the chairman of the Board of Trustees and himself a George Washington graduate and former student athlete, Russ Ramsey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to welcome everyone here, and on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, just let everyone know how excited we are about everything about GW. And as a former student athlete, I try to make sure that I don't let my enthusiasm for athletics sort of prioritize incorrectly sort of what the role of the student athlete, what the role of our athletic department is. But I have to tell you that as I sit in this amazing facility, which I call new facility in the sense that while it's been a part of our lives for a long, long time, it's like any sort of new beginning. It's got this sort of this whole world-class feel to it. And so I just want to let everyone know that while I hope that there will be a lot of announceable new initiatives in the future, that this is obviously a very important announcement for us. As President Knapp alluded, at our most recent board meeting, we formed a special committee to focus on the athletic department and create a strategic plan. We have a number of trustees along with all stakeholders of the university looking at really the entire athletic department and all of the pieces associated with it and how it plays into our university today, tomorrow, and long into the future. And so while I want to be one of the first to welcome Maggie and Mike Lonergan to our GW home and their 4 children, I just want everyone to sort of, appreciate the really the momentum that exists across the board. And as I said to Coach just before we got here, I was really happy that he was able to bring his crutches, because it'll be the last sympathy he gets from me. And so with that, I really thank everyone for being here. I really look forward to a great future together. And with that, I'd like President Knapp to come back up.
Thanks, Chairman Ramsey, and it's now my pleasure to turn the podium over to the person who really brought about this, I think, great accomplishment for the George Washington University, someone who really we had the pleasure of announcing just a couple of weeks ago and already has been hard at work, as is evidenced by this tremendous appointment. And so let me bring to the podium our new athletic director, Patrick Nero.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here, and thank you all for joining us. As Chairman Ramsey said, today is another step for us, and a big step as we try to continue the momentum of Colonial athletics. I want to acknowledge a few people before bringing Mike up here. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the young men sitting in this front row. Change and transition are never easy, but these guys have been terrific. They have focused on their exams, which is where their focus needed to be, and they have been respectful and in communication every step of the way. And so on behalf of everyone here, we want to thank these young men. I certainly want to thank President Knapp, Chairman Ramsey, Senior Vice President Bob Chernak, and current Athletic Director Jack Cavance for all their support these last couple of weeks as we began to plan for the future. These gentlemen have been supportive to me in every way I could ask, and they are solidly behind our athletic program as we move forward. As we look to the future and look forward to men's basketball here at George Washington, the most important thing I can ask all of you is to be part of the team. While Mike is a big piece of the team, he alone is not going to determine whether we're successful or not. This is going to be, the success will be determined by the young men, by their support system, by the fans, and by the students on this campus. And so I hope that you all join us in supporting Mike and giving Mike a chance to lead us where we want to go, to many victories and to the growth of a great group of young men. When we started our search, we really focused in on what hopefully every athletic director focuses in on when they do a search for a new coach. To hire somebody with great character and integrity, to do our homework and find out those that have worked with him before, what they say about him. Mike comes with an incredibly great reputation. He's a great teacher and a great leader, and that was very important to us. Second, what did his student athletes do academically? How did they perform? There's nobody else out there that has done any better. There's some that probably have equaled it, but certainly 100% graduation rate stuck out. And third, very importantly to us, is we wanted to attract somebody that had a winning record, somebody with experience. Mike has 18 years head coaching experience. Most of those years were 20-win seasons, postseason participation, Coach of the Year awards. We feel that of all the searches in Division I this year, we had the most successful one because we met our needs. And with that, I'd like to introduce you the new head coach of George Washington men's basketball, Mike Lonergan.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank everybody for being here, and the media, the students, and everyone. For this opportunity, I'd like to thank President Knapp, Dr. Chernak, Randy Levine, Russ Ramsey, my good friend Jack Cavance, and Patrick Nero, new Director of Athletics. I'd also like to thank my good friend Mike Bray, who's been great to me through my coaching career. My mentor, Jack Bruin, had passed away, and Mike's really been somebody I could lean on. for advice and career changes and different things. So I want to thank Mike. I'm excited to be here, and I really feel blessed to have this opportunity. I want to thank the people that put me in a position to get a job like this, my former players and assistants, a lot are here today, my high school and college teammates, Derek Lewis up there, former Maryland star, I see, and a lot of other people I'm sure are here that I'm not sure about. A lot of people I grew up with are here too as well. Some of my mentors, role models, and you know, many of you are here today, and I appreciate you coming out on a Monday afternoon. I also like to thank my family. My first coach was my mom, Maureen Lonergan, for whom the playing fields at Elizabeth Seton High School in Bladensburg, Maryland are named after. So I wish you could be here today. I'd like to thank my father, Jack, my 4 sisters, and especially my wife, Maggie, who's a terrific coach, probably the best coach in our household, and my 4 children that will be down here soon. I'd like to thank Bob Talbot for giving a 26-year-old kid an opportunity to be a head coach at an early age, and his wife, Barbara, for all their support and friendship over the years, and all the Catholic University family. They were terrific to me. I'd like to thank Dr. Bob Corn, my athletic director at University of Vermont, who took a chance on a guy to follow, you know, a tough situation in Vermont, where really we inherited the least experienced team in the nation, and he's really supported me, and the fans we had there were great, and all the players there, we're really going to miss them. It was a great 6 years for my family, and I always appreciate what Vermont did for me. Also like to thank Coach Gary Williams. I was a coach at Catholic University for a long time, had a lot of Division I schools show interest in me, but I sort of was labeled a Division III head coach, and it was hard to get that head coaching opportunity. And Gary gave me the opportunity to be a Division I assistant at the highest level, and it changed my resume and allowed me to become a Division I head coach. So I want to congratulate him on his retirement and thank him for all his support. And he has some free time now, so he told me I could lean on him for a lot of advice. George Washington University, for the people that really know me, I've always talked about this as really being my dream job, being in the nation's capital, my favorite city in the world. I used to sneak over on the Metro from Catholic University of Brooklyn and take the red line to the blue line and come over to Foggy Bottom. And Coach Jack Bruin was friends with Jerry Gimelstob, and he'd leave me tickets, and I come over and watch the games. What I most remember is watching my childhood hero, Coach Red Auerbach, up in the stands, watching the games. I grew up a Celtics fan because my parents were both from New England, so I'll never forget seeing Red at the games. I probably looked at him more than the games itself. But George Washington's always been special to me for a number of reasons. It's one of the top academic institutions in the country. It also has a storied basketball program that's rich in tradition. We also have a great nucleus of young players returning that have experience and great support staff here. So I'm really looking forward to working with them and hoping that I can help them reach their goals on and off the court. The goals I have as a new coach at George Washington University are many, and they're very lofty. First, I'd like to gain the support of the students, faculty, and staff at George Washington, the local alumni, and the local community so we can increase the fan attendance. When I was talking to some people about this job, one of my friends used to be at UMass, and he told me years ago this was, he thought, one of the toughest places to play when the students were really out, the way the gym was set up. So with the improvements now, you know, I barely even recognize the place. So hopefully we can get the fraternities and sororities and all the students back and really get the attendance up. I want to try to assemble a great coaching staff that will be tireless in our efforts to build a consistent winner on the court and also to serve as role models for our student athletes. We want to compete for Atlantic 10 championships and postseason tournaments. We're going to recruit high-quality student athletes that will represent George Washington University in a first-class manner, both on and off the court. We're going to recruit locally, nationally, and internationally. I know with Coach Jarvis, in the past, they've had a lot of success with international students and still have some here today. I know I'm biased, but as a former DC player, high school player, and PG County product, I really believe that this is a basketball hotbed, maybe per capita one of the best basketball areas in the entire country. So I'm excited about the opportunity I have here. I appreciate it, getting this opportunity. I truly feel blessed. It's a wonderful place to live, and I'm happy to be home. I want everybody to buy season tickets. That's the best way you can support us and our young men. And I'm happy you were all here today, and I really appreciate that. So let's go Colonials.
At this time, I'd like to ask two members of our team that are going to be very important to helping us reach our goals to come up and make a presentation to Coach Lonergan, and ask Maggie Lonergan to also come up. And I'd like to introduce Enkwa Asanye and Kyle Brosnan from the Colonial Army.
Good afternoon. My name is Kyle Brosnan, and I'm alongside Enkwa Asanye, and we are with the Colonial Army. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Patrick Nero for reaching out to us and having us here today. We look forward to working with you and your staff in the future. As the official student fan group of GW Athletics, the Colonial Army would like to take this opportunity to welcome Coach Lonergan and his family to the GW community. We are very excited to have you here, and we look forward to your tenure. To show our appreciation, we would like to present Coach Lonergan and his wife Maggie with official Colonial Army t-shirts. We also have our official tri-corner hats for your children, so they could be in the Colonial Army gear for the first game. And additionally, the university has prepared a gift package for you and your family. Welcome to GW, and we wish you the best of luck.
Here we go. We're going to open it up to Q&A now from the media. If anyone has any questions, let me know. I've got one of the mics here. Brad has the other one over there. I'm Dave Lebeski, the Sports Information Director here.
I'm Mark Plotkin of WTOP Radio, and I have some standing. I went to GW. I've been watching GW basketball for 47 years. I used to go to Fort Myer, where you had to be let in a military installation to even watch a basketball game. So I think I have legitimacy. Coach, congratulations. The question I have maybe is more properly directed to the president or to the athletic director, and the president is aware of my sentiments, and I couldn't wait for a venue like this. Do you plan to play aggressively, maybe it's more to the athletic director, aggressively schedule a university, a secondary institution in this town, Georgetown University, which we had a long rivalry with. I remember watching Dean Rusk, Secretary of State, I'm dating myself, watching a game. And second, what is your comment on a very serious note about GW and Maryland and George Mason playing the BB&T tournament? Georgetown has exempted itself from the BB&T tournament for 17 years. 17 years. I watched basketball in Philadelphia. They have a Big Five luncheon. It has to do with the culture and ethos of the city. What do you personally think, as the new athletic director, about Georgetown not playing in this tournament? And what are you going to do to make sure they do start playing in the tournament? Millions of dollars in charities to children, I'm being serious, have not, it's not funny, have not gone, because Georgetown could fill that place if they were included. So if you'd address the scheduling question first, and then the second question about getting them in the tournament and having Georgetown become part of this city.
Sure. I mean, Mike and I have spoken about that, and certainly he can respond as well. I would say from our end, we want to play as aggressive and attractive a schedule as possible. We want to build a national program here at GW, and so we want to find major basketball programs that will come here and play us, and we'll go on the road. I think Mike's record shows that he's played a very attractive schedule. So I would say from GW's standpoint, we do plan on playing a very aggressive, attractive schedule. In regards to the BB&T, yes?
Have you called the AD and said, we'd like to play you, and do you plan to do that?
Sure. As you're probably aware, I will become athletic director here on July 1st. And on July 1st, I will let you know, but sure, I mean, Georgetown is a terrific university and great basketball program. We would love for them to play us. We would love to play them, and hopefully we can convince them that they would get a lot out of playing GW. The BB&T, from what I know, and obviously I've never been, so I don't want to come across as knowing a lot about it, but it certainly has a reputation as a great basketball tournament. We're committed to playing it every year. I think it would be great for college basketball in this area if every local team committed to playing that tournament, but we can only control GW.
Any other questions?
Elizabeth Trainer, GW Hatchet. Coach, you talked about how you're really going to focus on recruits and, you know, bringing the best possible recruits to the program. So focusing on the recruiting class that we have coming in next year, it's something that I think everyone in the community is really excited about. Can you just talk a little bit about whether or not you've reached out to this class, you know, your plans to ensure that they are comfortable with the change and, you know, they're up to date on what's going on?
Yeah, I reached out to all the current recruits and in the process of talking to them now, and we hope they all come to GW still, but you know, you just don't know. I guess time will tell where we're at with that and what their decisions are. But we want guys that want to be here, and it's a great place to be, and hopefully they will all, you know, stay committed to GW.
Coach Lonergan, David Elfin, 106.7 The Fan. Want to ask you, first of all, what's the deal with the crutches? And secondly, do you think it's a good time to come to a place like GW when Maryland and George Mason are also changing coaches? It's kind of a little time of ferment in the area. Maybe the established programs they're going through change too.
Yeah, I had, my knee was bothering me this year. I've never had an injury, but getting off the buses, I was struggling to walk a little bit, and the trainer looked at it, and the doctor looked at it and told me to get an MRI. I tore my meniscus, and I thought it was a great time to wait till the season was over and have surgery, and it's sort of been the worst time. But hopefully I'll be all right soon. But my first injury of my life, got glasses this year at 45 and surgery. So, but I'll be all right. What was your other question, David? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of change. You know, I think it is a good time. You know, it's interesting what's going on with Coach Williams retiring. I was surprised by it, and Coach Larinaga didn't think he would make a move. So I'm excited. I'm hoping all the other hires are not local guys. Maybe they'll give us a little advantage. But you know, I'm not even sure what Maryland's going to do right now. But I do think this is a good time to try to, you know, sneak back up there. And you know, it's a great opportunity for us. And I feel we have a lot to offer that maybe some of the other schools don't. And we're really going to try to get the word out there that we want to compete, you know, with all those schools, you know, in the recruiting battles. So I'm definitely excited, and you know, hopefully we can really, you know, get everything going again here.
Mike, Dan Daly with the Washington Times. At what point in your life do you think you started thinking you might be in a place like this at some point and might want a job like this?
Well, in 8th grade, my godmother gave me a book from Orphans and Champions, Morgan Wooten. I talked to yesterday, and you know, one of my mentors. And I knew I wanted to coach. I wanted to play an NBA like these guys do. But my mom was a successful coach, and you know, I worked Joe Gallagher's camp and Coach Morgan Wooten's camp. And those people were such good people, I really decided if I couldn't make it as a player, I would try to be a coach. But when I was playing for Jack Bruin, I thought he was the best coach probably in the world that most people never heard of. And I knew that I needed to network, and you know, even in college, I worked camps all in the summer. And like I said, I came to games here, and just I was a true gym rat. But I really thought that, you know, this was a special place. Catholic University is a special place. Everywhere I worked has been. But my goal has always been to coach at Division I at really the highest level, and at a school where I feel I believe in the product. And for me, the product has to include, you know, high-level academics. And that is definitely the case here. And to be able to do it with my family close by and my friends who, you know, I really truly forgot how many friends I had until my phone and all that Facebook stuff happened. I apologize for people I haven't been able to get back to. So hopefully they'll all come to the game. So a lot of people, you know, will say, hey, they knew at an early age what they wanted to do, and you know, I really did. You know, I really wanted to be a coach probably after reading Morgan Wooten's book.
Mike, Joseph White with the AP. Obviously, recruiting for a school like Catholic with its unique setting and student body is different, and recruiting for Vermont and the America East is going to be different than recruiting for the A10 school like GW. Could you talk about the different challenges, and are you going to have to go about your recruiting style any differently now that you're at GW?
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely different, and it was different in Maryland recruiting Landon Milbourne and Eric Hayes, and starting a recruiting process with guys like Grievous Vasquez. So you got to adapt to the school you're at. I mean, we had no scholarships at Catholic University, so we were recruiting different kids and different level of players. But basketball to me is basketball. Coach Bruin told me a long time ago that you will find as you move up the ladder that the coaches, the guys that have been around in Division III, the Bob Bestwires of Scranton, and those kind of guys are just as good or better coaches as guys I've faced. So coaching is coaching, and even in this area especially, there's some terrific high school coaches and AAU coaches that just haven't had the opportunity or have chose not to move up. Like Morgan Wooten's a perfect example. A guy could have been a great college coach. So I really believe that we'll recruit a higher caliber of player. At Vermont, I always said that I had to get low Big East or Atlantic 10 players. When we got guys to go there like Marcus Blakely and a guy like Joe Trapani, those guys will probably both play in the NBA next year. And here, we're going to have to get some Big East type players if we want to win the Atlantic 10. So I definitely know what I'm gotten into, and I think that it can be done here. And I think I'm a pretty good recruiter, and I think we'll have a good staff that does a great job attracting quality student athletes. And it's really about George Washington. I think there's definitely a lot to sell. I mean, it hasn't been that long since they were in the NCAA tournament, and and having some great wins. And there's been some great talented players here. Going back to the talents and my high school teammate a little older than me, Chester Wood and Vaughn Jones, and I mean, there's so many guys that I watched. Chris Monroe's at Good Counsel, watching them here, and Shantae Rogers, never forget, came over and spoke at my wife and I's camp at Catholic Youth. So we've been GW fans and really local college basketball fans for a long time.
I have a basketball-related question. What about the assistants that served under Coach Hobbs, particularly Houston and Danielle Marshall come to mind? Are you going to keep any of them, or are you going to get your own staff?
Well, right now it's undecided. I'm in the process of meeting with all the assistant coaches. I've met with some and still doing that, and and I have some guys that I'm going to meet with from my previous staff. So that'll probably all kind of play out in the next week or two.
Coach Lonergan, nice to meet you. Voice of the Colonials, Byron Kerr, also worked for Sports Radio 106.7 The Fan. And it's off season for me, so I have a little cold, so I'll be ready by the beginning of the season, hopefully. But can you describe your tempo and style of coaching and what you want to see your team do when they're on the floor? When a Coach Lonergan team is on the floor and playing well, what are they doing?
Well, I think we have a reputation, our teams, as being usually #1 in the conference in field goal percentage defense and rebounding. And I believe that rebounding defense win championships. But if I could really recruit the personnel the way I would want, I like to play up-tempo. I like to take advantage of the three-point line. And at Catholic University, truthfully, it's a lot easier to get guards and shooters than it really was to get them to go up to Vermont. So we probably had better big guys up there. And, some years we had to grind it out. We won 25 games one year, and we were #1 in the nation in rebounding margin, and Carolina was 2. And I'll tell you, it wasn't the prettiest brand of basketball. And other years we've led the conference in scoring. So I truthfully don't know enough about the young men here as players. But I would like to play up-tempo. I think it's I like to press. We press, after made free throws. And so I guess I usually adapt to the personnel, but I do like to score points as much as defense wins. I think it's easier to recruit players when they know they don't have the handcuffs on them offensively.
Any more questions?
You talked about taking the red and the blue, or red and the orange, whatever it was, to get here. I'm wondering, when could you date yourself on that? How old were you when you first made the trip here?
That was probably my freshman year in college, 84, 85 season. Coach Gimmelstadt was still here, and I think Chester Cheesewood from my high school was playing, and you know, because I'm a Celtics fan, Coach Arback, I mean, I shouldn't say it, but sometimes he'd be nodding off, you know, during the games, and you know, I wore number 10 because of JoJo White and Red Arback. I mean, that was like, it was incredible, but so I follow those teams, and you know, and even Mike Brown, and you know, I feel unfortunate. I know most of the former head coaches here are friends of mine. So I've talked to some of them already, and I'm trying to lean on all those people for you know, for a lot of advice as how to get things done here, and the reasons they were successful.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, some of you have expressed some interest in one-on-one, so we'll make those arrangements right now, and then at 2 o'clock, there will be a live web chat on GW Sports with the Coach at gwsports.com, and if you want to tune into that. But thank you very much.
Thanks.